So, software development lifecycle. Let's start the topic. Software development lifecycle is a methodology with a clearly defined process for creating high quality software. The CDLC methodology focus on the following phases of software development. The first one is requirement analysis. Second one is planning, software design, such as architectural design, software development, testing, and deployment. So this is like showing all phases together in one picture. How does it work? Basically, it works, you know, like a circulish. So it goes from planning, then defining, design, and so on. So let's start with the first stage, which is planning and requirement analysis. Requirement analysis is the most important and fundamental stage of CDLC. It's performed by the senior member of team with the inputs from the customer. The sales department, market surveys, and domain experts in the industry. This information is then used to plan the basic project approach and to conduct product feasibility study in the economic, operational, and technical areas. Once the requirements is clearly understood, the software requirement specification document is created. This document should be like thoroughly understood by the developers and also should be reviewed by customers for future references. Basically, in this stage, business analysts and project managers set up meeting with customers and gather all the information like what the customer wants to build, who will be the end user, what is the purpose of product. Before building product, the core understanding of knowledge of product is very important, because like if you don't understand what you want to build, like how you can build it, right? Next stage is defining requirements, feasibility stage. Once all requirements analysis is done, the next steps is to clearly define and document the product requirements and get them approved from the customer or the market analysis. This is done through CRS, software requirement specification. Like we all know about it, we learned and saw some software requirement specification, same as BRS, but more technical related document. It's document which consists of all product requirements to be designed and developed during the product lifecycle. The third stage is designing the product architecture. Based on the requirements specified in CRS, usually more than one design approach for the product architecture is proposed and documented in DDS, it's Design Document Specification. This DDS is reviewed by all the important stakeholders and designed on various parameters as risk assessment, product robustness, Design modularity, budget, and time constraints. The best design approach is selected for the product. Basically, in this design document specification, there are a couple approaches, and then stakeholders can evaluate which approach is more suitable for them, which is most suitable for their budget, and they can pick one. So yeah, and the next stage is building or developing the product, which is building and developing the product. In this stage is DLC. The actual development starts and product is building. The programming code is generated as per DDS during the stage. And if design is performed in detailed and organized manner, code generation can be accomplished without much hassle. Basically, previous stages were like, before I was thinking that the coding stage is as a main stage here, but basically the main stage is requirements, the previous stages, which is basically really solid understanding of requirements, generating nice documentation, and prepare everything, project everything, and understand what they're gonna to build. So in this stage, fourth stage, is just implementation of previous three stages. Testing the product. That is like our job. This stage is usually a subset of all stages, as in the modern SDLC models. The testing activities are mostly involved in all the stages of SDLC as of today. However, this stage refers to the testing only stage of the product where product defects are reported, tracked, fixed, retested, until the product reaches the quality standards defined in CRS. Yeah, and so stage number 6 is deployment in the market and maintenance. Once the product is tested and ready to deploy it is released formally in the appropriate market. Sometimes product deployment happens in stage as per business strategy of the organizations. The product may first be released in a limited segment of the market, and tested in real business environment. It's user acceptance testing. It's for some category of people, like for small one, to see how the product works. And then based on the feedback, the product may be released as it is, or with suggested enhancements. Then, based on feedback, the product may be released as it is or with suggested enhancements in the targeting market segment. After the product is released in the market, its maintenance is done for the existing customer base. Yeah, and I want also to cover a little bit this SDLC methodologies, which is just to remind ourselves, because I think everything is pretty clear. We learned it and we know about this, but still, it will nice to remind where we started. So a couple SDLC methodologies. Yeah, so the first one is waterfall model is the oldest and most straightforward of the structured CDLC methodologies. Um, methodologies. Finish one phase, then move on to another one. No going back. Each stage relies on information from the previous stage and has its own project plan. Waterfall is easy to understand and simple to manage. But as we all know, there are some backside of it. And we're going to talk about it later. The next one is a V-shaped model, also known as the verification validation model. V-shaped model grew up of waterfall and is characterized by a corresponding testing phase for each development stage. Like waterfall, each stage begins only while the previous is ended. So basically, testing, you cannot begin testing until development is done, like completely done, like product is done. A spiral model provides support for risk handling. The exact number of loops of spiral is known is unknown, and you can vary from project to project. Each loop of the spiral is called phase of the software development process. The exact number of phases to needed to develop the product can be varied by the product manager depending upon the project risks. Of the project manager dynamic